everyone, it's Ryan. I'm here today with Amanda, and we want to talk to you about what is the Detroit Social Box Collective. So, we're a collective of Detroit businesses that have come together to style and curate an in-home event concept, if you will. So we'll have a variety of concepts, but all of those concepts will have the below like category of inclusions, decor and styling elements. There'll be some form of paper goods, floral, catering could be optional, savory, sweet, and then they all have a setup guide that shows you how you can have a stress-free and beautiful setup of all the inclusions in the box. So for this particular video, we're going to break down our Mother's Day Layers of Love box. So here's Amanda. She's going to share our screen and take us through those inclusions.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So, like Ryan said, really, it's a collective of curated items from different businesses, local businesses. And we kind of, when we start this process, Ryan and I discuss, the concept or what really we're trying to cater to in the time. So it might be seasonal. It might be holiday type of gig. It might be something we're just inspired by. I want to share with everyone else. So we're going to break down our layers of love. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to kind of show you guys where it starts, to be honest. So where it really starts is after we've decided sort of our direction, we develop this type of concept, concept document or concept map, which really pulls together different inspiration. And again, we talk about what we're going to be inspired by. And for this time of year, for the Layers of Love, we're really inspired by the Mother's Day, but not just for mothers, but for mentors, friendships, that type of nurture relationship that you have in your life. We're inspired by the change of seasons, still like spring into summer. And we're inspired by, produce and the natural beauty of ingredients. As farmers markets start to open and all those types of things, that played in a lot into kind of where we draw our inspiration from. So we kind of create this collage really of imagery, and then we pull our colors from this specifically as well. Again, it's considering what the season is. We talk, we go look at our precedent. We try and make sure each concept is definitely different. So when we're looking at the Mother's Day, again, Mother's Day Layers of Love box, it's really about pulling those bold but clean and refreshing color palette, and really incorporating the layers. That's hence where the title comes from: layers, layers, and layers. So when you cut it into a citrus, seeing all that detail in the layers, cutting into the menu itself, using layered paper goods, all of these types of things, layers of patterns, layers of things put into the actual food inclusions, all of that comes into play. We also
jump in really quickly.
Yeah.
I just wanted to state that something that we always say is that we have intentional design. And so I just want people to understand, as we go more and more through this concept map, they will see layers repeating itself throughout our design, because again, we really try to be very, very intentional with all of our choices.
Yeah. So everything that we choose to pursue is for a reason. We strongly believe that there needs to be some, lack of a better term, supporting evidence or supporting, push behind everything, just so it really all comes together in the end. And we create a concept that is, fit for taking, in your home, or, taking with you to where you're going to go to celebrate these types of things. We really want to make sure that from start to finish. So again, Ryan had mentioned food inclusion, savory and sweet. So we kind of brainstorm what we're thinking and how it connects to our concept. So for instance, for the Layers of Love box, we talk about different things, again, kind of feasting with your eyes, where the actual ingredients help with the art part of this box. So, if it's our bread, we use different citrus elements and, proposing in the salads or in the other inclusions. And again, what happens is after we develop these, we work with the other businesses to then sort of refine the menu and how we stay consistent on concept. We really try and bring the inspiration to our team members so that they can understand the direction we're going, and we stay consistent throughout. So again, we kind of prepare different imagery for them, different ingredient must-haves per se, or an approach we want to keep. And for this box in particular, is really about feasting with your eyes and about having sort of like the ingredients also be the art portion. So this is kind of where those things derive from. And you'll see that in our imagery as we move forward in promoting the Layers of Love box. Sweet inclusion. Sometimes this is what, we do different versions of this for different boxes. So for this one in particular, again, the citrus came into play, the layering of the citrus and the details. and then really making sure that kind of comes, full circle when it comes to feasting with your eyes. It's a little bit different than the savory, but you can kind of see, even in the imagery that was our inspiration, how those things layered, and even down to the shapes of like the circles when you see the onions and the fasaya bread, and the slices of the citrus in these items, and the shape of the tarts. Like all of that is very specific. It's not just the luck of the draw, Ryan. And I think really hard about how these things connect. So you can see, I think, page to page, how those all kind of, come together. Again, another feasting with your eyes type of, situation. And Ryan, you can interject and stop me anytime if I'm going too fast too.
No, I think you're doing great. I just really feel like this is a good way for us to make sure that people understand all the elements that come with the box. Because I think we both feel that it's a very unique offering in that truly you don't need anything else but the box and whoever it is that you're celebrating with to have a full and very beautiful celebration.
Yes. And so, that's really our goal, is to, pandemic and beyond, is to create these celebrations that so you can just enjoy it. You're not, it's hard. You're working when you create a celebration. Sometimes you feel like you're working the whole time. We're really trying to take the work out of it for you. Yes. We always will include a cocktail inclusion, whether it's a suggestion, the vessel, depending on the box. So for the layers of love, we included the vessel, and we're going to include in our setup guide different suggestions. And we have a special treat for this one too that I'm not going to spoil in this video, but we are going to be doing, these types of things are always included in the past. For like our New Year's box, we included pre-made mix from Sidecar Bartending. So like there's different things in this specific inclusion that kind of switch up every time, which is fun because you never quite know where you're going to get. And it also leaves you room to pick the alcohol that you prefer. So we give you an inclusion that can tailor to anything that you like. And that, to keep that type of that stress down, and you can kind of go from there. Drink napkins and things like that. We like to add so that the details, again, of where the concept comes in. So our color story here, these are the napkins specifically that actually are in the box, down to the circles. Again, it's citrus inspired. So all of that kind of comes through. Paper goods, for all of our boxes, we've worked with Porto Punch Press in developing these paper goods. And really the goal for this was to, again, the layers, still citrus and type of watercolor inspired, but we really wanted to have different forms of the paper so that you could see below. And I mean, I think Ryan and I, sometimes we don't, like Ryan was, we see it and do all the things. That's exactly what this is to me, right, Ryan? Like we're like, okay, we want some sort of vellum or something on top so you can see the design below. It's not just about having the print right on the design. It's about having multiple layers in every aspect, you know?
And I always love our paper good inclusions because I feel like, for me anyway, and I think you agree, Amanda, I feel like paper goods are a nice way to elevate a design without being, crazy expensive as far as an inclusion goes, right? But I feel like a really nicely designed paper good elevates. And we have menus, we have place cards, and then other things change, but we always have a paper good inclusion, and I love it. I think it's one of our.
We're always so excited. We're like, oh,
Right.
I think it, like you said, it elevates it. So, like, I mean, if you're ordering this box to celebrate with someone, again, regardless of what box it is, and you have like this menu sat there, their name on a place card, it definitely takes it from one level to another. I think most people like, oh, we're doing this. Okay, like so. And it's effortless because we give it to you, and we always, leave the opportunity, like if you have to fill in your own name, like, where you put it, it's really pretty simple in the setup guide. We make sure you have all those details so you don't miss anything. And we also like to, we always find that our inspiration is fun too, because we might have said it one way in our marketing imagery or in our inspiration, but even for the place cards that we have for this box, you could do something like these images have, where you pin it to an actual fruit and set it in the middle of the like there's so many different ways you can use these paper goods too. That's not just how we maybe photographed it or how we suggest, but we encourage you to experiment and then show us, because we want to see what you did. But we definitely, with paper goods this time, it was about overlaying, it was about layers of paper, it was about bringing in that color that coordinated to our citrus palette, and really let that kind of inspiration show through and sort of be a star. So that type of gig. Place settings and decor. This, I think, all the parts are our parts. If I had to say this,
All our favorite, right?
so it's hard to say that, but again, you can see page to page how everything connects. We like to think about grounding elements. So when it's a runner or a placemat, when I ever talk about these types of things, it's like a rug in a room. It grounds everything in the spot that it's supposed to be. So no matter what table or where you're at and you're setting this on, we try and provide something, throughout these, and even sometimes even a napkin can act as that, that grounds the setting. And it also kind of gives you a parameter if you're not used to setting up tablescapes or table. It kind of helps you with that. It kind of gives you here's where you should start. So for this box in particular,
yes, and to jump really quickly, Amanda, you made a really good point there as far as if you're not used to doing this type of setup. I feel like that's where our setup guide comes in really handy too, because we don't want people to feel nervous about, well, this is not what I do, and now they feel like there's this other layer of anxiety there. The setup guide shows them how to set everything that's in our box on a rectangular square based table and also on a round table. So we try to include both kinds of tables just so, again, there's no extra stress. There's no need to have anxiety. Everything that you really need to know is in the box. And just to jump back a little bit too, even with the food inclusions, all of the warming instructions and everything for the food, we also include all of that information, both in the box and in the setup guide as well.
Yes, and I think that's it's a super important point. So definitely something that and what I love about this, kind of playing off what you said, Ryan, is it all comes in the box. So your food will come in a carrier or whatever provided so that you have that separated. But if you were going to be taking this to someone to do, you just need the box and even your phone to go on the link to see the guide. So it's super portable. So, for layers of love, if you are somebody who's safely in your bubble and you were going to go celebrate with them in their home, all you do is you literally, whatever we drop on your porch is what you take with you. It's really, really stress-free. You don't have to worry about, oh, did I pack this? Did I miss this? That's not a concern with these boxes, which is awesome. And you keep the elements. It's not where you have to return these things to us or you're renting them, which I think is a big difference between our box and some of the other boxes that that I've seen out there before. We create this box so something you can keep, you can reuse the decor, they're yours. So you can incorporate them into your home decor after, you can put them in a box and save them for the next time. That's another thing I think is our quality items that you're going to want to keep. So I think that separates us too.
Agreed. Yeah. And then they'll see this is our first kind of video breaking boxes down, but as we continue to do more of these videos, I think people will see that we try to include a variety of elements, like decor elements, so that since they are keeping these elements, they're not going to have a repeat of the same items time after time. So that's something that we also take into consideration when we're curating the boxes, that we try to give you a variety of decor inclusion so that if you are kind of, supporting us in more than one way, you won't see the same thing box after box.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's super important too. And a lot, especially this box, I feel like I look at this box, Ryan, and I'm like, I would use that runner all summer. I would literally have that on my table all summer. And I think this box in particular really spoke to, we say this again, every time we're like, oh my gosh, this is our favorite. Every time we do this. But in our place settings and decor for this, again, it was about the layering and even, again, the macrame, right? It's like this layered fabric that's all sewn together. It's a different feel than a traditional runner. And I think it plays really well to the change of season, also what's trending right now, and also the idea of this layering effect that we're doing. So, and in this box, that's something we're including. We include, the napkins that we use, which are this color really in the box, you'll see in our imagery. Those are napkins you wash and reuse again. Those are actual dinner napkins that you can tie all sorts of ways. We'll tie them the way for the box, but those are things you get to keep again. We include, toss away plates that, you don't have to worry about even doing dishes, after It's all very intentional. So you have the smoothest celebration you can. Utensils. We do, the custom DIY stuff. So in this box in particular, we have the vases that have the different striped accents, the stained candlesticks. Those are all ready for you. And the vase of the florals come in. And this one's really fun. This is like a very wild, beautiful palette that we have this time around too. And it's really colorful. And the flowers last a long, I mean, to be honest, the ones I had from our imagery, changed water every few days. And I had those on my table for a long time.
Yes.
So pretty nice. We always include the votives against things that can be reused. And to Ryan, we're going to be, for this box in particular, when it goes on sale this week, we're talking about if you needed additional settings or additional food that you can request that, right?
Yes, absolutely. So every box is standardly curated for 2 people, but we encourage you to reach out to us if you feel like you need more place settings, or if you want to add to your catering order. We're more than happy to accommodate those requests made in advance.
Yeah, and we take care of that for you too. There's a if you just need place settings, or if you just need the food or whatever it is, if you reach out to us, that's taken care of per your situation. So whatever customization you needed, that's the conversation that happens. So that's really cool too, because they come with 2, so you're prepared with 2, but there's always room to get more of those items if you reach out to us within the sale time. So that's what's really cool. I think for this box too, that might become a big thing, just because, if in your bubble you have more than, multiple siblings or something like that I want to participate. It's a great way to make sure everybody's included. So
absolutely.
Okay. And then we always aim to include a favor in our boxes, just because it's something you can take away with. But there's like almost all of these things almost consist like as a favor.
Yes.
All these things you get to keep. But what's nice is if you are celebrating with someone who's not taking the box elements with them, they do get a favor. Also, for us it's the vessel for this box, which is really fun. And I think it's just a nice takeaway. So it's kind of, like you get a party favor every time that you get a box. So
who doesn't love that?
I do. I like getting free. I like getting gifts.
Yes. And the category for favors change. Sometimes it's a food element. This particular time it's a drink vessel, but those categories change, but there's always something.
Yeah, there's always a really cute, and we do try and make them again because we're intentional functional, or something that you could keep for a while. In our last box, right, Ryan, it was dried lavender, which is a beautiful aroma for a really long time, and beautiful glass bottles that can sit on a shelf anywhere. So they do differ from time to time, depending on the concept and what we're really pushing at that time. The vessel is perfect for all summer long too. So as you're making whatever drinks, we have palomas on here, but there's other drinks that, you can put in there. Pretty much anything with tequila tastes great in those. So I mean, this is kind of the concept for this box in particular. I think right now our goal is to do more of these box breakdowns as we curate more boxes, right, Ryan? So
yes, our goal, I think, is the why. I mean, we've put out there these beautifully curated boxes. We're partnering with some wonderful Detroit female-owned businesses, but we really wanted to take a minute and kind of go through the box and tell people why. Like, why is it a good idea? Why should they support it? Why is it something that'll be stress-free in their home? And I feel like this video provides them a more full view of what's really in the box, more, I think, than people maybe understood before.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important. And in our little card too, that we include every box, we include a card with a link to the setup guide. We talk about how when you're supporting your community too with this box, it's not just, Ryan and I in particular, but it's multiple businesses who are building themselves and who've had to pivot, especially during the pandemic, but are learning. This is some of the things that we're doing to not only get local products to you, because you will not regret. This stuff is just like, our minds are blown every time we work with our vendors for these, because it's just always such good quality of everything. It's just like, man, this is like really nice, really nice stuff. We're like, dang. So I think it's always so fun, and like and it's so easy, so easy just to open that box, and you just, anybody who you're celebrating with is like, dang, you like, this is great, so yeah.
Absolutely.
We're fans.
Yeah, that was our goal for today. we look forward to sharing more boxes with you as we curate more boxes. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.